Man, do I love me some sweet gear. Hello everybody, Silver Picker here, and welcome to the Silver Picker Squad. Now, today's video is all about EDC. Now, what is EDC? EDC stands for Everyday Carry, and what that is it is basically a subculture on YouTube, on Reddit, especially among preppers, survivalists, and people that are just into gear, gearheads. Now, I wouldn't call myself a gearhead per se, but I do love some really awesome high quality gear, especially when it facilitates experience and activity and business. Now, what most people's EDC consists of is a phone, a wallet, and keys, right? Well, I'm gonna take this idea and sort of apply it to what we do, which is buying and selling precious metals and coins. Now, what I'm gonna show you today is all of the stuff, all the gear that I bring with me when I go to purchase precious metals or coins. Whether it is a pre-organized meeting where I know I'm buying somebody's jewelry and coins, or whether I'm going to a garage sale, estate sale, or flea market totally blind and don't know what I'm gonna expect to find. Well, I'm gonna show you all the gear that you need. Now, I know that the world feels like it's crumbling and things are bananas and going nuts, but please God, this summer, garage sales are gonna start opening up again, flea markets will start opening up again, and the world will be coming back to normal. And one of the things that I predict is that because the economy has been hit so hard, a lot of people are gonna be selling their coins, their jewelry, etc. So when you go to flea markets, you're gonna see a lot more stuff popping up than you wouldn't have seen otherwise. And you need to be prepared for that, or somebody else is gonna eat your lunch. And the first thing you need to do, well, it has nothing to do with gear. The first thing you need to do is learn the business. But aside from all the knowledge, you're gonna need hustle. But aside from all the knowledge and aside from the hustle, you're gonna need gear. And that's what I'm gonna show you right now. Look at all this beautiful gear. Man, do I love me some sweet gear. And I got a hunch that you guys watching at home do too. But I want to say a message to all of you newbies that are watching. Maybe you're new to my channel, or maybe you've been watching for a while but decided that now is the time to get into the business of buying precious metals and coins, but you need to know what gear you're gonna need. And I don't want you to get discouraged looking at this stuff, right? This array of gear is awesome. There's a ton of stuff here, but I want to make it clear that it's not gonna break the bank. Most of this stuff that you see, you've already got at home. You don't have to pay a penny for it. Most of the stuff you already have at home. The stuff that you don't have at home, some of it's optional and you don't actually need it. And for the things that you do need, it's not gonna break the bank. And of course, if you want to support the channel, you can buy them all through my Amazon affiliate links, which are down in the description box below. I'll get a couple percent and it won't cost you a dime more. If you guys, by the way, do want to support the channel in a more concrete way, I would love it if you would consider supporting me on my Patreon account. And if you do decide to support me on Patreon, there are some awesome benefits that you get, but my favorite benefit of all is that you get access to my private Discord server. It is a private invite-only chat that's just for me and my patrons, and all of us talk about coins, about precious metals, about picking, thrifting, about investing, making money on your own terms, and the strategies to do so. And to be totally honest, we also just have a lot of fun. So I would love to see you there. You are more than welcome to, and I would be forever grateful if you would support me on Patreon and help make videos like these possible. Now, anyway, back to the gear. So you see here, we've got this big array of awesome stuff, and we're gonna go through all of it. We're gonna show you some of my favorite stuff, and we'll go one by one and in no particular order. But in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, I'm going to put a little box that says whether it is required or whether it is optional. This way you'll have a better sense of what you really need to spend your hard-earned dollars on. But hey, as you know, you gotta spend money to make money. So let's take a look at our first piece of gear. Piece of gear number one, a digital scale. Now, you can get any digital scale you want, but it needs to measure in decimals like this one. And I highly recommend that you get one that measures to the hundredths place like this one as well. The reason why you want to do that is because let's say you're buying some jewelry, right? Let's say you're buying a piece of gold jewelry, and it measures here at 9.84 grams, right? So 9.84 grams. If this was a scale that only had whole numbers, it would weigh out at 10 grams, meaning you would be buying 0.16 grams of gold that doesn't exist, which of course is a huge disaster when you go to sell it, and of course the person you're selling it to will have an accurate scale, and that would not be ideal. And same thing when you're buying coins, right? you want to be able to measure it accurately so that you can tell whether you're getting a counterfeit coin or not. Now, the reason why I like this scale in particular is for a couple of reasons. One is it has a little built-in calibration weight. Now, if you take a look over here, you can see that it says 50 grams. Well, when you put this on the scale, it should read out as 50 grams, and that shows you that the scale is working properly and is properly calibrated. So that is really awesome. In addition, it has a lot of different modes. This one's in grams, which is the one that I use the most, but it also has ounces. It has troy ounces, which is super important when you're measuring gold and silver. It has penny weights, which is the standard of the jewelry industry. It has carats, and it also has grains. And this gives you so much versatility and so much accuracy, you will absolutely not regret getting a good quality digital scale. And before we move on to the next piece of gear, spare batteries. Always, always, always make sure to have an extra set of batteries that fits your scale, because you do not want to show up to an opportunity to purchase potentially thousands of dollars worth of gold and silver and then find that you can't actually weigh it out and have to come back and risk losing the opportunity. Next up, a jeweler's loupe. A jeweler's loupe is basically a small compact magnifying glass that packs a wallop because it is a very strong magnifying glass, and this one in particular also has a light. I highly recommend you get one with a light. However, for years before I had this one, I used this very basic plain one, and I can tell you that this one was a lot cheaper than this one, and this one is still my go-to loupe. This one cost me under $5, so you can definitely get these for cheap. Next up, a pad of paper and a pen. Definitely bring one of these along, and no, your smartphone won't suffice. You need to be able to write down all the different things that you're buying to keep yourself organized and to show that you're on the level to the person you're buying from. Definitely critical. You can get these pads for free. I seem to get them all the time for free. I don't even know where they come from. And pens you can obviously get for free as well. However, I like to have this. This is my Fisher Space Pen. If you don't know about Fisher Space Pens, I highly recommend them. They're classy, they're really nice, and of course they have pressurized ink cartridges, which means you can write at any angle, so you can write against the wall and it won't stop writing. You can write when things are damp, and of course whenever you go to outer space you can write there as well. Next up, pliers or a multi-tool. I love having a multi-tool on me because it has, well, a million different tools. This is my Leatherman Surge. It has pliers. You can use that for taking stones out of jewelry before you weigh them. It has a knife. It's good for opening boxes and opening up packages and all sorts of other stuff that you might encounter on the road. It has scissors. You may need to untangle something and cut something loose. It's got everything you could possibly need, and that's why I like having it in a small, compact option. However, Leathermans are expensive. This was like $70. Now, you don't have to get a Leatherman. You can get an off-brand one, or you can just go with a simple pair of pliers. I use these all the time for taking stones out of jewelry, and these were literally 50 cents at a garage sale. So while you don't need to get the creme de la creme, you definitely should have something to remove stones when you need to. Cash. You do not want to leave the house before going to a precious metal or coin purchase without having enough cash. If you go to a garage sale or an estate sale or a flea market and you don't have enough cash and you have to leave in order to come back with more, you may end up missing the deal, and that is a disaster. So make sure to bring enough cash with you. I always have a minimum of $500 on me, if not more, sometimes $1,000 or $2,000 if I'm going to like a community-wide garage sale. So definitely bring enough cash. I put all of that in one pocket. However, I also make sure to always have my wallet on me. And for my wallet, I have my smaller money for smaller purchases like 1s, 5s, and 10s. Now, this wallet in particular, I love. First of all, it is amazing leather. It's gorgeous. It's from a company called Exter. They actually sent me this as a gift to show off on the channel, and I was sort of debating whether to do it because when I got it, I'm like, it's just a wallet, but I've been carrying it every single day and I love it. And by the way, oh my God, the leather smells amazing. And I love the low profile aspect. It's fantastic. They also sent me, I'll just show you, they sent me this card holder. It's super cool. Watch this. You press the button, boom, all your credit cards come out. And it also has a little strap for cash, a little ID holder as well. And I actually usually keep this in my backpack for all my spare cards so that I don't need to carry it around in my pocket. And this is actually the coolest thing they sent me. This is actually a little Exter branded credit card sized tracking device that you slide right into your wallet. And the coolest thing is basically, it's not really an anti-theft device, but if you can't find your wallet in the morning when you're ready to run out for a sale, you just bring it up on your phone, hit ring to find, and it's like being able to call your wallet. How cool is that? And while these specific items are not necessary, I can tell you that I have absolutely been loving this wallet and this tracking device from Extra. Next up, stones. What I have here is something that unfortunately you can't really buy. This is something that you're gonna have to get from experience and practice. What I have in this little baggie are lots of little gems and stones and pearls and all sorts of little things that you might find in jewelry when you're going to be buying gold and silver. Now, why do I take these with me? Well, you remember how I said that you need pliers to remove stones from jewelry, right? Well, guess what? Sometimes when you buy jewelry, the person you're buying it from might not be ready to sell and they just want to get a quote. They just want to find out how much you're willing to pay. So what you need to do, if the jewelry they're selling has stones in it, you need to estimate how much those stones weigh so you can subtract it from the amount that you're going to pay them. I use these stones to match what they have in their jewelry, weigh them, and then I have a real basis for figuring out how much the stone in their jewelry weighs that I can subtract from the gold that I am actually buying. As you buy jewelry, scrap silver and gold, don't just throw away the quote-unquote worthless stones. Save them, put them in a little baggie, and bring them with you because you'll be able to use them really, really, really effectively. Purell wipes. I use the wipes, but you can also get the little bottle of gel, of course. These are so important. When you're out garage sailing or at flea markets, you are touching things that literally hundreds, if not thousands of other people have touched, and you can get sick. And we certainly know what's going on today, why hygiene and keeping your hands clean is so important. So I always throw a couple of these wipes in my kit, especially if I end up dealing with really, really dirty coins or I'm in somebody's house that's not particularly clean. You'll be very happy you had these. And on the hygiene train, we've got these sterile gloves. I keep them in a little baggie so that they stay clean and I can keep them in my kit. But basically, I just keep a pair of heavy-duty gloves with me in case I'm going through any really, really dirty stuff. You know, I've gone through coins that have been in a fire and they've got soot on them. I've gone through coins that have green sludge on them from PVC damage. I've bought stuff that is really, really in bad shape. Having these pair of sterile gloves is super, super important. A set of digital calipers. Now I like this particular set because it comes in this heavy duty box and you know that if it gets jostled around, it's not going to get screwed up and lose its precision. Now what these tools are for is basically you turn it on and you screw this thing out and it lets you measure the diameter of a coin. So when you're buying a coin, you can check the exact diameter and make sure that it matches what the specs are supposed to be. And then, once you're done with that, you can also measure the height. Now make sure you don't want to scratch the coin. You want to be really careful when doing this on a very valuable coin because you could scratch it. So these are super helpful for making sure that you're not buying counterfeit coins. I use these all the time and I really wouldn't buy a coin, especially for a high price, without measuring it first. Now, of course, if you want to go on the cheap route, you can get one of these guys, a regular ruler, and this will do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. I like the calipers because they're more precise, they're more professional, and they're a lot faster, and you know, time is money. But a little ruler, this one I found in my childhood bedroom and it was effectively free. So you can go that route also. Now, next thing I bring is super critical for buying coins. I bring a number of different plastic tubes, some airtights, and some holders for banknotes, because when you buy a collection, you really never know what you're gonna find. And sometimes you're gonna find some really valuable stuff that you don't wanna just sort of stuff in your pocket and run away. You're gonna wanna throw them right into these tubes or right into the airtights for really high-end stuff, or for banknotes that are worth money into this stuff. It also doesn't hurt to pick up a pair of cotton gloves. You don't want to scratch the coins or get the oils from your hands onto them, so bring along a pair of cotton gloves, plus you'll really look the part. Next up is a neodymium magnet. There is no more important piece in your kit than a strong magnet, and that's because it'll let you move so much faster than your competition. When you go to a garage sale and say there's a basket full of jewelry that says 50 cents a piece, you can go up to that jewelry with your magnet and start tapping it, and anything that sticks to the magnet, you pull off and put to the side. Anything else deserves a second look. That will cut down your time by so much, so you don't have to waste time looking at the stuff that ends up being total junk. luck, and then you can move faster, get to the next sale faster, and continue making money. Now, if you don't want to spend the money for a neodymium magnet, that's fine. You can also use a normal magnet. Now, I'm not talking about a refrigerator magnet, but you know those old magnets from science class? That'll do. This one right here is from a print shop. It has some advertisement on it, but you can see if I take this metal carabiner, it is definitely strong enough to see whether a piece of jewelry is silver-plated steel or actual silver. Next up are precious metal testing acids. You can see here I have for 10 karat gold, 14 karat gold, and 18 karat gold. Now an insider tip, 18 karat gold also works for silver, and I'll show you how that works in another video. But that's why I don't have special silver solution. And of course, a scratch stone. What you do, you scratch the piece of jewelry on the scratch stone and then test it with the acids to see whether it's real or not. You definitely don't want to buy fake gold. Now, these acids are extremely dangerous. If you are a kid watching this, please, please, please do not use this stuff without a parent's supervision. Parents, also be careful because this stuff can blind you. Also, it's a good idea to pack a little bit of paper towel with you so that you can wipe it off the scratch stone as you go. Additionally, I pack this stuff inside this Ziploc bag, inside this felt bag, inside this shopping bag, and then all of it zips into this little pouch, which I got from an airline. That is a great way to repurpose these airline pouches that you get if you fly first class, or if you walk through first class and grab one as you're getting off the plane. And that's what I keep my acids in. Please, please, again, be careful with these. They are very dangerous. Next up, a small flashlight. This has been so helpful for me many times when I have gone to buy coins. There have been so many times where I've bought coins or jewelry in someone's house where it is so poorly lit that I cannot see what I'm doing. I can barely see the mint marks on coins. I can barely see the hallmarks on jewelry. This little flashlight is so lightweight, it's tiny. Look, it's the size of my finger. It is perfect, and look how bright that is. This is a fantastic little flashlight. It's called Hattori, and I got it on Amazon, and it was like $8. You should definitely pick one of these up. Next up is an external battery pack. This one is so good because it is so small. It's made by Anchor. It comes with a little carrying case, and I use this thing all the time. This one has a slim profile. It's short. It can fit in your pocket. It's got 2 USB ports and a micro USB port for charging. And of course, it has a little power indicator as well. And this one's by Anchor. I bought this for under $30. I bought the cable, the spare cable, for like $2, and this thing has saved me so many times. Look, when you're going from garage sale to garage sale, you've usually got a car charger, right? So you're usually plugged into your car when you're using the GPS, no problem. But when you're at a community-wide garage sale or you're at a flea market, you're going to be walking around for hours, and you might be checking eBay, you might be checking Numista, you might be checking all sorts of other online resources and blowing through your battery. This thing can charge my phone more than 2 full charges. That is unreal. Highly recommend that you get one of these, even though it's not necessary to succeed in this business. And last but not least, a standard bank bag. I use these nondescript bags to put all of the goodies that I purchase throughout the day. When I'm going to a tag sale or I'm going to a flea market, I carry one of these guys around with me so that I don't lose any of the jewelry or coins. It's got a basic pocket, it's got a good soft lining, and it is nondescript. You throw your hauls in here for the day, you slip this into your backpack, and no one's the wiser. Highly recommend it. You can, of course, just use a Ziploc bag as well. I happen to like these guys, but you do you. Well, that just about does it for all of my EDC gear for buying and selling precious metals and coins. If you guys buy and sell precious metals and coins and use different gear, put it in the comments below and let us all know what you use. We can all learn from you. In addition, one thing that's important to note is that the gear is really important and will help you make way more money, way more efficiently, but there are 2 things that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that are way more important. One is knowledge. You need to learn about the business. You need to learn about the metals themselves. You need to learn about how to buy them, the rates, all the different things related to the industry. And number 2 is hustle. You need to get out there. You need to go to 50 garage sales every weekend. I get people that complain to me sometimes and say, how can you get all the luck? I went to 3 garage sales and I didn't find anything. Well, I'm going to 25 a day. And if there's a community-wide garage sale, I might hit more than 50 sales in a single day. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm getting up at 6 a.m., starting to hit the pavement and going out until 5, 6 at night when things are closed. You got to really put in the effort and the time. And then, once you've put in the time to learn, and once you've put in the legwork and the hustle, then the tools will just make you all the better. Now, before I sign off, we need to talk about my weekly silver giveaway. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've been giving away 1 ounce of silver every single week to one of you lucky viewers. In the first few weeks, things went amazingly. I got literally over 1,000 entries, I think, one week, and we kept hitting the 1,000 like minimum for the contest to count, which was one of the big parts of the rules, easily. We were hitting 1,500 likes, 2,000 likes, sometimes even 3,000 likes, and I sent out a lot of silver to you guys, and it was awesome. However, in the last couple of weeks, things have sort of died down, and it seemed that most of my viewers were not really that into the contest. I was getting fewer than 300 entries, and unfortunately, we weren't even coming close to the requisite number of likes. We weren't even coming close to 1,000 likes. And you take that and couple that with what's going on in the world right now, where it's really hard to get your hands on silver bullion. Almost every bullion dealer is sold out. And logistically, I can't even get to the post office to send anything out right now. And for those 3 reasons, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put my weekly giveaways on pause. Now, I know that that's disappointing to a lot of you. It's really disappointing to me as well. But don't despair, because I am still planning on starting them up again once things start to go back to normal. Now, one thing I need to mention, everybody that I've sent silver to, I'm hoping you're enjoying it, and everybody that has won previous contests but I haven't sent the silver yet, don't worry, I am still planning on sending that silver to you once I can get to the post office again after all this craziness ends. Now, for patrons, for you that are patrons that are watching on my Patreon, the monthly Patreon giveaway will still count and will still continue. The first one will be on April 1st. For those of you who are interested in still getting a contest entry and winning some silver from me, you can become a patron and join that contest. So I'm hoping that you guys aren't too disappointed, and I hope you understand, because of what's going on today in the world and all of that, that we're just going to be taking a pause. But I'm still hoping to give away lots of silver this year. So if you like this video, I'd still appreciate it if you give it a like. And of course, if it's your first time watching, or if you still haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Now, I've got a lot of awesome videos coming down the pike, so stay tuned. And until next time, Silver Picker out.